Greetings, Earthlings! Hello again to all my friends, parents, students, teachers, pets, baby goats named Kid. Baby goat's a kid. You already knew that though, right? This is Mr. Benjamin. Big smile. Woo! Another smile over here. Woo! I should really get like a happy face emoticon, or emoji as people call it. Emoji. I should find one of those. You know, I'll do that for the next video. And if I forget, please remind me. Anyways, this is 6.6, subtracting integers. So we've talked about what integers are, an integer being any positive or negative whole number. We've talked about how to add integers. Now we need to talk about how to subtract them. And I'm going to tell you now, it's very, very scary. No, it isn't. It's very, very simple. We just need to work together and get to this point. So our learning goals for today will be 2, 1. I'm going to write it in green. Let me get rid of that. Whoop. Subtract integers using a model. Now, as I've said before, if you feel you don't need a model and you can subtract them, go right ahead. More power to you. If you feel you do need to use a model, for example, the zero principle, the zero principle states that -1 and +1, oh, that looks bad. Let's try that again. And +1 equal, everyone should be yelling this out, 0. 0 should be in green, we're going to change that. Equals 0. And we can use this when we're doing questions. For example, let's take a look at -5 plus +4, right? -5 and +4. So that means I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I just realized? All of this is going to be covered up by the Dockery sign, so I'm going to have to move it. Let's move this. We'll do some TV magic up here. And of course that got rid of my G. I'm going to have to put that G back in there. I apologize. So we've got 5 blue dots, or counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to pair that up with 4 red dots. Now, I can cancel some of these out, right? If I take 1 blue away, I can take 1 red away. I can do that again, and again, and again. And I'm left with 1 lone blue dot, right there. So, -5 plus +4 leaves us with -1. And that is using the zero principle, and it's being modeled with counters. You can also do this with a number line, right? If you feel comfortable using a number line, go right ahead. This was a bit of a mess, I apologize. So today we're talking about subtraction, but we're going to look at addition as well, because there's a lot of misconceptions between subtraction and addition. Now, and I don't talk about the word verse, whoops, that's a V, W. Versing, I have no idea where that came up, but that's not a word, and if it is a word, it's not used the correct way. Anyways, I'm going to get rid of that. So when we talk about addition, to add something, or to use the term addition, that literally means to add on. You can add on positives. For example, if I start with 5 and I add on +6, I'll end up with 11. So if I have 5, salamanders, and I add 6 salamanders, that gives me 11 salamanders. That kind of looks like a discontent face. Like, that's okay. But that's not what it is. The total is 11. But you can also add negatives. So if I start off with 5, and I add, say, -6, well, what I'm doing here is I'm taking them away, right? I'm adding on negatives. So if I have 5 salamanders and I take away 6 salamanders, I end up with -1 salamander. That gives me a sad face, because I'm running out of salamanders. When we talk about subtraction, okay, subtraction literally means to take away. To subtract something, right? We can subtract positives. So if we have, 8 cats, we'll say, and we take away 4 of those cats, we will end up with 4 cats left. We can also take away negatives, though. Now, this is the part where some people get confused, and I'll explain it to you. It really doesn't need to be too weird or too scary or anything like that. Say I've got 8 cats. and I take away negative 4 cats. Now again, I'm sorry, this is probably covered up with Dockery. So I am going to make some room here and start writing again. 8 cats, and I take away negative 4 cats. Now, oh God, how am I going to take away negative 4 cats? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go to the next scene, or next slide. Sorry, not scene. What? Take away a negative? So we had 8 subtract negative 4. Subtracting a negative actually means adding a positive. So this really works out to 8 plus 4, which gives us 12. Now you're probably sitting there going, no, that doesn't make any cents or dollars at all. If you have 8 and you take away 4, you can't end up with more than that, right? But we're not taking away 4, we're taking away negative 4. Let me clear up some space, and I'm going to model this out for you. And the way I feel most comfortable is by using counters. So, I'm going to draw this all out again. If I have 8, you know what, I'm going to make that positive. Positive 8, and I'm going to take away negative 4. So I'm going to draw what I have. I have 8 red counters, right? And I want to take away 4 blue counters. Problem is, I can't take away 4 blue counters when I don't have 4 blue counters. But if we recall zero principle, or if we recall the zero principle, so I spelled that wrong, I'm sorry. Principle. Now, the zero principle states that 1 positive and 1 negative equals 0, right? So, what's wrong with adding these positive and negatives to our equation? Because I could add 1 positive and 1 negative, and that's still 8, right? Because these two cancel out. So let's still have 8. Now, what if I add another one? I'm going to add another pair. And another pair. And another pair. Broken record style, right? Keep saying the same thing over and over again. Whoops, I erased it. I meant to make a square around these. So right here, I've got 4 negatives and 4 positives. But this all equals 0, right? Because of the zero principle. Because this is minus 1 plus 1, or excuse me, negative 1 plus 1, negative 1 plus 1, negative 1 plus 1. So that all equals 0. But I'm not trying to take away my positives right now. All I want to do is take away 4 negatives. So what are we going to do? We're going to literally take those 4 negatives away. There goes 1, there goes 2, there goes 3, there goes 4. Now, I'm also going to erase my beautiful white rectangle. Oh, it's going to be difficult. Trying not to erase the red counters. I kind of erased them a bit, but I'll draw them in again. And we're going to count up what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, what we can say now is, positive 8, subtract or take away negative 4 equals 12. What? Don't worry, we'll do more examples. Let's try, we'll keep the numbers low for now. Let's try negative 5, subtract or take away negative 2. Now, I'm going to draw out 5 negative counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have to take away, this symbol means take away, 2 negatives. Right? So what I'm going to do, I'm literally going to take 2 negatives away. I'm going to take that one away, I'm going to take that one away. Bye-bye. What am I left with? Equals negative 3. Now how does that work? Let's go back and look at that again. No, I'm going to leave those up there. This right here is -5, right? Everyone can see that. These counters are each worth -1. So I have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm literally going to take away 2 of those negatives. Bye-bye. I'm left with -3. Let's try another example. I'm going to clear that off. Example. Let's do... what order haven't we done yet? -8 subtract -12. Oh, this one's going to be tough. Okay. So, I'm going to draw myself 8 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so that's my 8 negatives. And right here, that subtraction sign means take away. And I have to take away 12 more negatives. I'm going to rewrite that. I have to take away 12 negatives. Do I even have 12 negatives to take away? I mean, I can take away the 4 I have here, or the 8, excuse me, I have here, but that's just not enough, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw more negatives until I can get to 12. But in order for me to draw more negatives, I have to balance that out. I have to use the zero principle. Zero principle. That will never change when it comes to integers. So I have the 8 I'm looking for. I need a certain amount. I need 4 more to take away. So every time I add a negative, I must add a positive to balance it out. Every time I add a negative, I must add a positive to balance it out. Okay, now I'm going to count up all my negatives. I'm going to see if I can actually take away 12 of them now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12. That's 12 negatives. And the question is telling me to take away 12 negatives. Well, now I have 12 negatives, so I can take them all away. Say bye-bye, 12 negatives. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What am I left with? I'm left with +4. 4 positives. So my answer to this question is +4. Seems a little strange, I know. But if you draw it out, if you model it, it'll definitely help. Now, sometimes you're going to get examples with 3 digits. Ooh, scary. Not really. It's actually really, really straightforward. So let's say we'll have -4. Let's do -4 plus +3. Subtract +8. Okay? So what I like to do when I have 3 digits is basically work with 2 at a time. Kind of like BEDMAS, right? You're not going to do all of them at once. What I'm going to do first is this section here. I'm going to completely ignore that 8, but I'm going to get back to it afterwards, okay? So -4 and +3. I'm going to model that out with my counters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now what I like to do is, or what we can do, what we really need to do, is take some pairs away. There goes 1. There goes 2. There goes 3. So I'm left with -1. I'm going to write that out again. I've made a lot of little errors today, but I catch them because I review my work. So I've taken care of all of this here. I'm still left with this take away or subtract +8s. Now, I've got 1 negative, and I need to take away 8 positives. How am I supposed to take away 8 positives when I only have 1 negative? How, you say? By using the zero principle. Ooh, I'm sorry. It might be my stylus. My stylus might be broken. Principle. Zero principle. I need to take away 8. 8 positives. But I can't do that. I have to make them first. So, 1 positive, but I need 1 negative. 2 positives, 2 negatives. And if I keep doing that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's take away those 8 positives. Woo! All gone. What am I left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm left with 9 negatives. Negative 9. So all of this in total equals negative 9. Let's get you some try this. And our kid is over here sticking his tongue out because he knows you got some work to do. Let's go. Let's start off negative 5 minus negative 3. Let's do negative 8. Subtract positive 7. Ooh. Let's go positive 6. Subtract positive 2. 4. Let's do positive 9. Subtract negative 3. And let's do one more that's slightly difficult, okay? And when I say that, I mean it's not difficult at all. Positive 3 plus negative 7. Subtract negative 5. Give that a go, and we'll talk about that all tomorrow. And at the end, we always say thank you. And we hope you've enjoyed. Oh, this video is slightly longer. I apologize for that, but that's okay.